Hello, and welcome to your first edition of Government Gossip with Mrs. Shoemaker. Today, you're going to be learning about the three branches of government so that you can identify their basic purposes and understand why it's important for where you live. You'll know you've got it when you can gossip with your friends about the legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judicial branch. So let's find out what they do. First, we have our executive branch. This is where the president and vice president are located. This would be Donald Trump right now. His job is to enforce the laws and are chosen by the electoral vote in each state. The next branch of government is called our legislative branch. This is made up of Congress, Senate, and House of Representatives. They are in charge of creating laws, and they're chosen by a popular vote within the state. Our last branch of government is our judicial branch. It is the Supreme Court and is made up of 9 justices. This branch of government decides whether the laws are within the Constitution. And if they're not, they are appointed by the President of the United States. So which branch do you think is most important? Let's find out.
Have you ever wondered who has the authority to make laws or punish people who break them? When we think of power in the United States, we usually think of the president, but he does not act alone. In fact, he is only one piece of the power puzzle, and for very good reason. When the American Revolution ended in 1783, the United States government was in a state of change. The Founding Fathers knew that they did not want to establish another country that was ruled by a king. So the discussions were centered on having a strong and fair national government that protected individual freedoms and did not abuse its power. When the new Constitution was adopted in 1787, the structure of the infant government of the United States called for 3 separate branches, each with their own powers, and a system of checks and balances. This would ensure that no one branch would ever become too powerful, because the other branches would always be able to check the power of the other 2. These branches work together to run the country and set guidelines for us all to live by. The legislative branch is described in Article 1 of the U.S. Constitution. Many people feel that the Founding Fathers put this branch in the document first because they thought it was the most important. The legislative branch is comprised of 100 U.S. senators and 435 members in the U.S. House of Representatives. This is better known as the U.S. Congress. Making laws is a primary function of the legislative branch, but it is also responsible for approving federal judges and justices, passing the national budget, and declaring war. Each state gets 2 senators and some number of representatives depending on how many people live in that state. The executive branch is described in Article 2 of the Constitution. The leaders of this branch of government are the president and vice president, who are responsible for enforcing the laws that Congress sets forth. The president works closely with a group of advisors known as the cabinet. These appointed helpers assist the president in making important decisions within their area of expertise, such as defense, the treasury, and homeland security. The executive branch also appoints government officials, commands the armed forces, and meets with leaders of other nations. All that combined is a lot of work for a lot of people. In fact, the executive branch employs over 4 million people to get everything done. The third branch of the U.S. government is the judicial branch and is detailed in Article 3. This branch is comprised of all the courts in the land, from the federal district courts to the U.S. Supreme Court. These courts interpret our nation's laws and punish those who break them. The highest court, the Supreme Court, settles disputes among states, hears appeals from state and federal courts, and determines if federal laws are constitutional. There are 9 justices on the Supreme Court, and unlike any other job in our government, Supreme Court justices are appointed for life, or for as long as they want to stay. Our democracy depends on an informed citizenry, so it is our duty to know how it works and what authority each branch of government has over its citizens. Besides voting, chances are that sometime in your life you will be called upon to participate in your government, whether it is to serve on a jury, testify in court, or petition your congressperson to pass or defeat an idea for a law. By knowing the branches, who runs them, and how they work together, you can be involved, informed, and intelligent.
All right, you guessed it. All three branches are most important to the United States. They need to check each other and work together to make America run smooth. Now you're going to help me. I'm going to drag and drop each person or people that go into each branch. I'm going to see if you can help me. I'm going to start with the president. Point to the branch the president goes in, and let's see if you're correct. If you said executive, great job. How about the vice president or vice president? Guess where the vice president goes? I'll give you 3 seconds. If you guess the executive branch, great job. Let's go to the Supreme Court. Which branch does the Supreme Court live in? 3, 2, 1. If you guessed judicial, congratulations. How about the House of Representatives? Which branch of government does this go in? That's right, you got it, legislative. Okay, where do the senators in the United States go? Which branch of government? If you guessed judicial, great job. How about Congress? Where does Congress go? If you guessed judicial, great job. Now, we have one more job to put in a branch. Can you guess which one it is? That's right, it's the 9 justices. These are people that make up this branch. Let's see if you know which branch. That's right, legislative. Now, what are the jobs that each of these branches do? Who enforces the law? If you said president, great job. Who makes the laws in this country? That's right, the legislative branch makes our laws. And who interprets these laws? That's right, judicial branch. Great job. Now you need to go back to your assignment, click on the Google form, and fill it out to show what you have learned. Then make sure you mark your assignment as done. And have a great day. This has been Government Gossip with Mrs. Shoemaker.